Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the hidden costs of dirt bike racing. If you're an experienced racer, these may come as no surprise to you, but if you're new or just thinking about getting into dirt bike racing, these are some expenses you may need to consider. Let's jump right into it. Number one is gate fees. They're typically $10 to $15 per person, so when you drive up to the gate with a family of four, you're looking at $40 to $60 for gate fees. You'll need cash for this and other expenses at the race, so be sure to stop by an ATM on the way. Gate fees typically go to the landowner, and this is their primary source to fund all the work that goes into hosting a race on their land. You'll need a membership for whatever organization you're racing with. These membership fees are typically $25 to $35 annually, depending on the organization. Most racing organizations have a day pass membership that's cheaper if you're only planning on racing one or two races, but keep in mind you won't get points awarded for a day pass membership. If it's early in the season, I'd recommend going ahead and getting the annual membership just in case you end up going to enough races to be eligible for season awards. Some organizations also require membership in the American Motorcyclist Association. At the time of this recording, a one-year membership to the AMA is $49 or $98 for a family membership. One-day passes are typically available for $20. Another thing to keep in mind, if the organization you're racing with requires AMA membership, they typically require you to have an account with Live Laps as well. A Live Laps account is free, but you'll want to set that up online before going to the race. It may be difficult to set up the account at the race. Every organization I've raced with uses electronic scoring, so you're going to need a transponder to attach to your helmet. These are typically $10 to $15 and you can purchase them at the race. This is a one-time purchase unless you damage it in some way. I have transponders I've been using for years, and I've even moved them from helmet to helmet. When you add in your race fee, which is usually $40 to $60, signing up for your first race can be more expensive than you expected. This is just a ballpark estimate, but keep in mind the membership fees are paid annually unless you purchase a day pass, and your transponder can last for years, so your second race will be much cheaper than your first. Now let's talk about bike maintenance. When you're racing regularly, you need to keep up with bike maintenance more carefully. You don't want to spend time, money, and effort getting to a race only to have a mechanical issue in the first lap. You want to go over your bike carefully and handle any potential issues before the race. I go through a lot more tires and brakes in the racing season than I would if I were riding the same number of hours just for fun. If I know I'm going to a mud race, for example, I may go ahead and replace half worn out brake pads. Because mud's very tough on brake pads, I don't want to take a chance on wearing out brake pads during the race. If I were just riding for fun, I probably wouldn't be riding in extremely muddy conditions, and I would run brake pads until they were completely worn out. New tires make a huge difference when it's muddy and slick, so I end up replacing tires that would still have life in them if I were just trail riding. Even when it's not muddy, I replace tires more often than I would if I were not racing. Suspension maintenance may not seem all that important when trail riding, but for me when racing, there's no substitute for having suspension perfectly dialed in for my weight and skill level. Great suspension and new tires gives me a lot of confidence to hit rocks, roots, and obstacles faster than I would otherwise. If you're chasing points in a racing series, you're going to have to do some traveling. Camping the night before a race is typically included with your gate fee, and it's likely the cheapest option. If you're towing a camper or driving an RV, you're going to have some additional fuel expenses. If you're not into camping, then a hotel room can be convenient, but that comes at a cost. Whatever you do, don't leave your bike in the back of a truck or a trailer at a hotel. You're much better off to leave it with somebody who's camping at the race location and cable lock several bikes together overnight. There are typically professional photographers at the races, and it's hard to resist purchasing those photos when they show up for sale after the race. Some photographers even have season deals to pre-purchase all of the photos for each race. There are also video services like Southeast Moto Edits who take your GoPro video and do the editing and upload to YouTube for you for a fee. These are great services to preserve the memories and even track your progress over time. And the last hidden cost I'll mention is race merchandise. When you're at races, you'll find shirts, hoodies, hats, stickers, all themed to the specific race or the race organization. These are hard to resist and can add up quickly. If you enjoyed this video, then you should definitely watch my video about the 11 things that you should never do in a dirt bike race. Thanks for watching.